Welcome back, Fantasy Endgame community. I'm Pierre, here to help you with some fantasy baseball waiver wire pickups heading into week 12. Let's talk about some starting pitchers and one reliever that I think is worth picking up heading into next week. All right, I'm going to start out by hitting repeat on George Kirby of the Seattle Mariners. Has been pounding the strike zone as he does, and he is not doing a bad job of it. 2.8% walk rate, that is, right now, I think it's the best in the major. Guy who has amazing control. He's striking out at least a batter per inning. His ERA, his whip, it's all going to be really good. I don't get why he's still only half owned across fantasy leagues. If you're in a competitive league, guys like that, yeah, they might be scooped up, but go and check because there's a good chance people are sleeping on him. I don't know why, but he's still out there. And remember, he's a rookie. He's just going to keep getting better. All right, another guy that's going under the radar is a former Mariner. That is Taijuan Walker, getting a lot more notice now because he's with the Mets, but still, he's available in half of fantasy leagues, in Yahoo at least. And I think I know why. It's because, well, he's not an exciting young pitcher anymore, but also, well, the strikeouts haven't been there, right? He's a guy who's always managed to keep his ratios pretty low, but he just isn't a high strikeout pitcher. Is that changing? Because now his last 2 starts alone, he has 19 strikeouts. I'm not sure what's going on, but all of a sudden he's getting swings and misses. I don't expect that rate to keep up, but still, he's not hurting you in that department anymore either. He's got a 2.88 ERA, a 1.16 whip, and he's winning because, well, the Mets are in first place, which is hard for me to say, but yeah, he's got 5 wins so far. Look, as long as he stays healthy, he's going to eat up innings. He's going to go at least 6 every time. He's a dependable guy on a good team in a pitcher-friendly environment. You know what? He's kind of that solid mid to back-end rotation piece that you want, and you can add him even if you're in like an 8 or 10 team league because, again, he's now not hurting you in strikeouts any longer. So Taijuan Walker, go and check if he's available. All right, someone who's actually gaining a little bit traction here, but again, that ownership rate is just around 50, and that is Jon Gray, who is now of the Texas Rangers. So he's always been able to strike out batters. That's nothing new. He's doing a pretty good job of it, but he's also now keeping a pretty decent ERA. It's a 4.18. He's got 68 strikeouts in 64 innings, a 1.2 whip. That's pretty good. All right. As a player, he came off, kind of a lackluster April, let's just say, but he's kind of building steam now. He's had a lot of injuries here and there throughout the past, so just good to see him, able to go out there every time. And he's getting stronger too. I feel like he's kind of building up. You've seen the strikeout numbers increase lately. This guy who's kind of never quite lived up to his upside, being in Colorado. Let's see if he puts it all together this season. But he's been a solid rotation piece, so definitely someone that you could consider. All right, what if all those guys aren't available? Let's go down a little bit lower. Another vet, that is Davies in Arizona. So, look, he's a guy that we kind of forgot about because he's coming off a terrible season. But it looks like that was an outlier. He's back to being himself, and that is a pretty dependable guy. He's someone who induces a lot of soft contact. His exit velocity allowed is in the 90th percentile, right? He's not going to get barreled up a whole lot. He's going to keep his ERA under 4, 1.2 whip, and he's gone at least 6 innings in each of the last 4 starts. He's alternated 6 and 7 frames, so that's what you're looking for. You're looking at a guy who isn't just going to go 4 or 5 and get pulled. Not a high strikeout guy. So again, I prefer Taijuan Walker nowadays if he's there, but Davies is kind of going under the radar because he's not on a great team. And again, a lot of people after last year just kind of were out on him. But you know what? At this point in the season, you're looking for someone you can count on. I would rather take a chance on a veteran like him than some rookie who's going to come in and look great for 1 or 2 starts and then just absolutely get eaten alive. And that's what's happening with a lot of these young pitchers. Really good first and or second start, and then all of a sudden blown up. All right, Davies will not do that, so he's somebody that you could look to stream. All right, now what about that reliever option? It's not going to be a closer. Look, sometimes we have guys who jump onto the scene. Last week I recommended 2, Sir Anthony Dominguez of the Phillies being 1. This week, let's go with a guy that is going to be the setup man to somebody I mentioned a couple of weeks ago. So in Boston, that Tanner Houck is now unofficially the closer, but the 8th inning guy is John Schreiber, and he's somebody who's been really just flat out dominant this year. If you look at his numbers, a 0.84 ERA, 0.75 whip, and he is striking out 30% of batters. He's got a very impressive 14% swinging strike rate. Now here's the thing, he's not going to be a closer. He's not getting saves, although I say this and he just came off of getting a save, but that's not why I'm recommending him. It's not that I think he's going to be getting saves. If you're in a league that counts holds or saves plus holds, you need someone like this. All right, so he's a guy I picked up in 2 different leagues. Thankfully, I play in a couple of leagues that aren't just saves, it's saves plus holds. So if you're in a league like that, he's a guy you absolutely need to get. Sometimes you don't need to have a guy who is currently the closer. What if the closer gets hurt? He's the next man up. It's kind of like handcuffing in football, right? You need that backup, that setup man. Schreiber looks like he's the guy who might be next in charge. Talked about Boston's bullpen all year. Matt Barnes just been bad and injured. They don't have another guy who's a lockdown guy. Don't know if they're going to make a deal at the deadline. But right now, Schreiber is getting the job done. And even if he never gets another save, he's helping you with strikeouts. You know, he's helping you with your ratios. So he's one of those guys I kind of like to have, kind of like I mentioned earlier this year, way back in the beginning of the season, Michael King in New York. And look how he's done so far. So if you're looking for that type of pitcher or relief pitcher who doesn't have to get you saves, I like John Schreiber. He's somebody who is kind of breaking out this year. All right, that does it for my pitcher recommendations heading into week 12. Of course, you can check out the hitter version of this too each and every week here to help you try to stay on top of things, get ahead of the game, and pick up these players before the competition does. That is our end game. It is to help you win. All right, guys, thanks for watching.